1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
You ready?
Come on! It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers. Highlighting people and things you should know about. Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Robin's got a lot to talk about.
I don't know what's wrong with you girls. I feel like y'all don't need love. You need somebody who could micromanage you, you know what I'm saying? Tell you right from wrong, who's smart from who's a fool, which utensil to use for which food. Like, I got a schedule to attend to, though. I can't really.
Get to the song, Greg.
You really get carried away, making mistakes, then you beg me to stay. Got me weaking on you like I'm arrogant tape. You got my mind in a terrible place, whipped and changed you like American slave. Act like you not used to Sheridan stays. I'm at the you thought could replace. How were there even comparisons made?
All right, we're live on the Rob Report. So I'll be Bernardine for Robin Ayers tonight. And you said that's Drake. It's called Slime You Out, Andy? I was wondering when he was going to start sliming. Stop talking. That's man, brother. But welcome to the Rob Report. Welcome in. We have a lot to talk about today, and we are going to be joined very shortly by multimedia journalist with the Los Angeles Sentinel and the brand new In the Black network, Niele Anderson. She'll be joining us shortly to dive into these topics, and we're going to see how much we got time for. But there are some interesting happenings. I do want to talk about Deion Sanders.
Love him.
I love him too. I love Deion. Of course, I grew up watching Deion. I think I had his poster on my wall, and now he's already turned the program in Colorado around. And what the most remarkable thing is how these coaches continue to hate on him, and as they like to say with the Colorado football team, make it personal. Why do they continue to make it personal? And the latest example is the head coach for Colorado State. So it's an intra-Colorado battle this weekend for Deion's club. And they're playing the other major team from Colorado, and who also is coached by a brother. And
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so the dude said, and at first they were very complimentary of each other. They were very complimentary of each other, and then the dude said, when I speak to an adult, I take off my sunglasses and my hat. And of course he's referring to the fact that Deion Sanders doesn't. He does his press conferences often with his sunglasses and hat on. And why would you say this? I just don't get it. And the funny thing was Deion Sanders responded to those comments. I think it was on ESPN earlier today. And he said, why would you do this? I mean, we started off right, and then we were complimenting each other. And the funny thing was, he said, who got to him? He said, he's a brother too. Who got to him? Deion cracks me up. And the coach's name is Jay Norvell. And I just don't understand. And Colorado State was already going to lose this game. Let's just be clear.
Oh, really? Well, the game hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't happened yet. But Colorado State was already going to lose this game.
The game has not happened yet.
I promise you.
I'm not going to bet you because I'm always bet on primetime.
But I'm just telling you, there was no way that Colorado State was already going to win this game, and now they just made it worse for themselves. So, also, 21 Savage, should he be deported for having an affair with rapper Lotto? So, there are reports that the hip-hop star who was born in London that faces deportation if his wife divorces him for being a cheater.
Okay.
And so, I don't want to get into the legal aspects because neither of us are lawyers.
Right.
But I want to talk about, is that right? Whether if it's legal, I don't know. Is it right? Is it right for someone, if they're a cheater, if they're not from here, to be deported? I've never even thought about this situation before. I didn't know it was possible. And we're now talking about it because apparently it is possible. And we'll get your thoughts, Nia, for sure. I definitely want to get your thoughts. I know it's hard. It's hard to hold back.
It is.
And also, we're going to see if we have time to talk about Jeezy. He has filed for divorce.
That's the news of the day.
Yeah, Jeezy has filed for divorce from his wife of, I think, about 2 years. And they share a daughter together. And usually it's the other way around.
Right.
Usually it's the rapper whose significant other is filing for divorce from them. Not the case today. So we'll make time for that because I know that people are into Jeezy. He's in addition to having, quite a prolific rap career, he's turned into quite the media personality.
Right. Just released a book.
Yeah, he's doing
Just
a lot.
performed at the vice president's house for hip hop.
Man, yeah. So Jeezy has been doing it for a long time.
Snowman.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about those things. Actually, Andy, hit me with the breakdown thing that Robin always does.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. And we already kind of broke it down, but we have to have that soundbite in the show. So when we come forward, we are going to bring Niele Anderson, who's already been brought in.
I chimed in a little bit.
But we're going to bring her in to a much larger extent to get her thoughts on all these topics when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity, and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online. Qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome into the Rob Report. It's Avi Bernard in for Robin Ayers tonight, helping you get your weekend going with the latest in entertainment news. And we're joined by multimedia journalist with the Los Angeles Sentinel and in the Black Network, live in studio, Neil Anderson. Welcome, Neil.
Hey, Avi. Good to be here with you, always.
Really appreciate you coming through. And we have got a lot to talk about, as we like to say here at KBLA Talk 1580. So this 21 Savage situation, he's reportedly having an affair with Lotto.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
You don't know if the affair is even happening.
Right, because Lotto has always, as I've paid attention to her, she's always talked about her man. She has that whole little jingle, my mans, and she's always talking about her man, sent her a private jet. And so I'm just confused by this story.
But maybe she's, rappers like to embellish, and maybe she either doesn't have a man, or she just, that's her saying her man is just the dude that she's talking to that day.
Yeah, and I didn't know. And then I didn't know that she had a 21 Savage tattoo.
Oh.
So that threw me off too.
Oh.
That was in the article. So I was like, I'm so confused by this because I thought Lotto had a man. And her thing was she wanted to keep it private because that way she could control the narrative.
But you see, these rappers, and I'm including women in that, they like to have side pieces. Like Saweetie said, back to the streets. They like to send them back to the streets too.
Okay.
These rappers like side pieces, and I'm sure that Lotto is no different.
Right. Well, 21 Savage sounds like he's in trouble. He better pay attention to the wife right about now.
Yeah, he should. And so, do you think that, since he is from the UK, he's from the UK, do you think that someone should be able to be deported for cheating on their wife? And basically because he married a U.S. citizen.
Right.
And I think that's how he got his citizenship.
Correct.
And so now if she divorces him, it would essentially be him being deported because he cheated.
Right, but I don't think it's because necessarily she's leaving him because he cheated.
Right.
But you have to, when you become a citizen, because you marry somebody, you have to stay married a certain length of time.
Right.
So if he doesn't stay married a certain length of time, that's why he's getting deported.
Exactly, but essentially, that's what I'm saying, is that's not technically the reason. He's not going to, the customs is not going to say, hey, you cheat on your wife, get out of the country. But it's because he cheated that he would be getting divorced. And so the reason for him being deported would boil down to him being a cheater.
Right. Or he didn't honor his vows. Or whatever happened in the marriage. He got, that's part of the process. You got to go, bro.
So should he be able to be deported? Is it worth, fellas, is it worth getting deported over that thing?
I think that's the question. Is it worth it? Because I don't think Jay-Z is going to save him. Was it Jay-Z or was it A$AP Rocky? Which one did Jay-Z help?
Oh,
Remember, they were deported, and let me see. I think it was 21 Savage that Jay-Z. Remember he got
I'm
deported.
pretty sure it was him because he's had issues with this before.
But we're gonna Google it and make sure we're accurate.
He's had issues with citizenship and staying in the United States illegally or without having the proper papers. He's gotten in trouble for this before, and
right.
so he married the U.S. citizen, so it looked like his problems were over. But now he's messing with big energy over there.
Right, it was 21 Savage says Jay-Z Meek Mill helped him get released from ICE custody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. They say that, he pretends to be from Atlanta, but it came out that he's from the UK. So, I don't know. He has a lot of drama going on.
He does.
But it just seems like he needs to make up with his wife if he wants to stay.
Well,
and I don't think that would be hard. Buy her a couple Birkin bags, take her on a vacation.
Whoa, see, that's a whole different conversation now.
It's cheaper to keep her.
It's cheaper to keep her, but the conversation that.
But now it's expensive because he didn't keep her right.
See, and now he has to pay the back tax because now he's put through all this, and it's public, and people know what's going on, and.
How bad do you want to stay in the U.S.?
But see, that's an interesting point, Niel. If your man cheats on you, can he buy his way back in? For anyone listening, for those of you on YouTube watching, can your man buy his way back into your life? If he has cheated on you, what does he have to do to stay? Is it over automatically, or what can he do? And this is, maybe we're kind of crossing over into into my man's territory coming up next, but.
I think that if you have enough money, you could buy your way back into a woman's heart.
I'm gonna have to ask
Zoe. With enough carrots, you could buy your way back into my heart.
Okay.
Okay,
we're gonna have to ask Zoe about that one. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about 21 Savage because we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay.
I want to talk about Deion.
Yes.
Now,
Prime time.
People love Prime.
Mm-hmm.
People love Prime. People get very offended when other people talk about Prime, and
either you love him or hate him, because some people don't like Deion Sanders.
Yeah, and apparently a lot of coaches don't like him.
Right.
And maybe it's because he's not the traditional coach. He doesn't have the traditional coach swagger, wearing the visor and, being all coachy. Deion's going to be Deion. Prime's going to be Prime.
Right.
And I remember obviously watching him play. I remember when he was a commentator with NFL Network. I loved his commentary there. And he was always himself.
Must be the money.
It might be that. It might be the swag. It might be the skin color. And who knows? But I feel like coaches are feeling like he kind of burst into their fraternity. And he's not playing by the same rules.
Right.
He's not the same coach personality. He's really being 100% himself. He doesn't have the coach accent.
Right.
And if you want to get involved in this conversation, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. But what's your thought, Nia? Why do you think that all these coaches are hating on Deion?
Because he doesn't do it the systemic or structural way, like the way that it's always done. And, I know this is going to get really deep, but when we even look at like systemic racism in this country, like there's a way that things have been institutionalized and set up. And Deion Sanders defies all of them. I mean, and even like to play devil's advocate or whatever, when he was with the HBCUs, there was a coach within the HBCU that said he wasn't swag enough.
Right, when he was at Jackson State. Yeah, that's right.
So he steps to his own beat, and he kind of reminds me of LeBron James. Remember when LeBron James left Cleveland and everybody was like, oh, you can't do that. A lot of, black NFL retirees were talking about LeBron James for going to the Heat. But what did he do? He went and got a championship because that's what he wanted to do. And then he came back to Cleveland and gave them a championship. So I just think these athletes, these black athletes in particular, are understanding their worth. And they're doing it their way. And I love it and I applaud it.
Yeah, and that's a good point about Deion when he was at Jackson State. People were hating on him when he was at Jackson State. People were hating on him when he left Jackson State. He should have stayed longer. He he didn't do enough.
I was mad at first too because I went to a HBCU. So what he did for HBCUs and how he put them on the map and how lots of funding started going towards them and the network started putting them on TV, and then he just left. But then I had to take a step back and think, that's his career. That's his life. And maybe he has his own trajectory of what he's trying to accomplish. And so then I said, okay, I'm back on the Deion train.
No, absolutely. And we never get on white dudes when they go get their money.
Right.
You know, and he had a chance to go get his money, and you can argue, well, maybe he doesn't need the money, but that's not your business.
Right.
And it's his, not only is it his money, but it's his career. And he can and should do what he wants with his career.
Right.
I mean, if he wants to make it's a big step up in competition, in prestige. Unfortunately, I hate to say that about leaving an HBCU, but when you're going to the biggest, one of the biggest football conferences, that's what it is.
Right.
And I was a little disappointed when he left Jackson State as well, but I wasn't mad at him.
Well, I was mad at him just for a little
and I understand
while.
that. I'm not saying that that's not understandable or acceptable, because we want our HBCUs to come up and we want our big names to go there, and they are. Eddie George, former Tennessee Titans star, coaches the HBCU team. Former NFL coach Hugh Jackson
is at Grambling State.
Yeah, so more people are going to HBCUs, and we're getting more popularity. And Deion was a huge part of that, as you outlined, Miel. So I just I think it's just crazy to me how the Division I coaches that are trying to come at Deion, and he already beat last year's national runner-up in TCU in the opening game.
Right.
And then he obviously beat Nebraska. And their head coach, Matt Rule, is a former NFL head coach. So it's not like Deion is coaching against scrubs.
Right.
So,
and I mean, I wasn't checking for college football, but now guess what? I'm paying attention. And why? Because prime time.
Prime, exactly. We've got a couple people on hold. Let's get to Judy in Covina. Judy, welcome to the Raw Report. What's on your mind?
Oh, thank you so much. I absolutely love prime time. I love his boldness. I love his confidence. I love the way he represents as a black man, and he's all the way himself. And I think that he reminds me a little bit of, if you remember back when Richard Williams, Serena and Venus's father, stepped out, and in the beginning, they thought he was crazy. He was this, he was that. But their family ended up changing the whole game of tennis.
Right.
How you dress, so on and so forth. I think that we can watch and see Deion have the same impact. And I would love to see more African Americans follow in his footsteps and go to those HBCUs and coach. And I love the way he is as a father. I mean, there's just so much good about him. I just wanted to make those points and agree with you all who are saying that, he is the bomb, and I just love him. And I don't know anything about football. I've never really paid attention, but now, I just can't wait to watch him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Thank you for the call, Judy from Covina, California. Really appreciate your call and your perspective. And as you've said, Judy, and as you said, Niel, y'all went into college football before, but Deion is that type of figure. He draws so much interest.
He's consuming, and he draws you in.
He does. He's got a lure. He's fascinating, and a lot of that's because he's authentic.
Right, and he's charismatic. He's a praying man. If you follow him on Instagram, he's always giving you nuggets. Even if you're not into football, he's still your coach. He's your life coach, because he always is dropping nuggets to just encourage you. I just think he's just an all-around. I don't know his personal life, but just as far as being a coach, a mentor, I think he's 100%.
Yeah, and Pretty Brown Mimi on YouTube says, Deion has always been a bold, confident black man going back to his college days at FSU. He's prime time. I love it. FSU being Florida State. Let's go to Fahima calling from D.C. What's up, Fahima?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. I was really calling to talk about the 21 Savage situation, because we're a little delayed, but I'm going to speak on both.
Okay.
And I'll preface my comments by saying that Deion Sanders has every right to do what he feels is best for him.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the black student population at Colorado is 2.3%. And if you watched the game the other day, you saw at the end there the school is predominantly white, and historically these PIWs, with these predominantly white institutions, they exploit black athletes. These guys better make sure that they get a degree. When I was a student at Howard, there was a big scandal at Georgetown University where these guys, some of them were illiterate. Mm-hmm. And they had people doing their homework for them. And if they got injured, it's over. At an HBCU, they're going to make sure you're going to get a degree. And that being said, Deion Sanders did not put HBCUs on the map. If you look at the last 5 to 7 years,
he raised their profile. He definitely raised their profile. He didn't put them on the map, but he raised their profile.
You can check basketball and football. There are a number of national players from these high schools that have been choosing to go to HBCUs before Deion Sanders went to that school.
But Mimi, there's no denying that he raised the HBCU's profile on the whole. He raised. There are people who now know about Jackson State because of Deion Sanders, and as a result, HBCUs. On the whole, because of Deion Sanders. Of course, HBCUs have been around and they've been doing good work always. Ain't taking nothing away from that.
No, what I'm saying is that a number of national players from high schools.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with that.
In football and basketball. So I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say he put them on the map.
Well, I think in a more secular world, he put HBCUs on the map. Right. Like if you have a family that knows about HBCUs, or you're involved in a community that knows about HBCUs, then yeah, you know what that is. Mm-hmm. But in a mainstream setting, Deion Sanders raised the bar. He had ESPN looking. He had Fox looking. He had major networks, the NIL deals. Mm-hmm. A lot of that came because of Deion Sanders. So he did do something for HBCUs.
Oh, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. But to say that he put it on the map, I think it's a bit of a stretch. The other thing I wanted to say in terms of 21 Savage, because he got married to an American citizen and acquired citizenship, it could be viewed by immigration and naturalization that the marriage wasn't legitimate and he only did so in order to become a citizen. So he may very well be deported after investigation.
All right, Fahima, thank you for the call. Really appreciate you always tuning in and hanging out with us. When we come forward, we got a lot more to talk about. And we're just getting started. We're going to talk about Jeezy and his divorce when we come forward right after this news, traffic, and sports update on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Rob Report.
More of the Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A report on the San Diego County taxpayer-funded immigration program is raising some concerns. The Immigration Rights Legal Defense Program provides legal assistance for immigrants at a cost of $5 million since May 2021. The Board of Supervisors was split on the report, with some saying that the county should be using taxpayer money to tackle the fentanyl and homelessness problem. Meantime, in New York City, Black Mayor Eric Adams continues to call on the federal government to do much more to help the city with the migrant crisis. The mayor spoke out again about the drastic budget cuts needed in order to make way for billions of dollars in spending on the migrant issue. And consumer sentiment is down slightly this month. The University of Michigan's early reading for September notes uncertainty over inflation and the economy. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
A SIG alert has been issued in Fountain Valley as a stalled garbage truck remains in the right lane of the 405 north before Magnolia Street, while a 25-minute backup runs heavy from Highway 73. In Anaheim Hills on the 91 west before the 55 Costa Mesa Freeway interchange, watch for an accident on the right shoulder with heavy traffic from Ware Canyon Road, Yorba Linda Boulevard interchange. Also expect heavy traffic as you head through Angels Stadium, as the Angels are versing the Tigers tonight at 6:38, adding to some heavy delays in this area.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Apparently, the odds makers in Las Vegas were not impressed by the Rams' victory in Seattle last weekend. The Rams are at home for Sunday's game against the 49ers, but they are 8-point underdogs. 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox 11. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite Sunday at Tennessee. Number one item on the Chargers' priority list is improving their pass defense. The Chargers allowed 466 passing yards in last week's home loss to Miami. 10 a.m. kickoff on CBS. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough, the editor extraordinaire, for another episode of Out of Bounds. The NFL is fighting off more charges of racial discrimination. This one involves a former NFL reporter. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. I know you've been hearing the promo over and over again about our event this Saturday, about contracts and how you can get in the contract pipeline. Just want to remind you, it is this Saturday. Space is limited. Here's Dion Rambo to tell you more about what you can expect this Saturday.
Yo, what's up? This is Rambo, and again, you know the 3 words: contracts, contracts, contracts. This Saturday, there's one place you have to go right now, KBLA1580.com. If you want to see us talk about contracts, talk about grants, you got Caltrans who made all this possible. I'm super excited. You guys all know Rambo's been in the community fighting for you. Now, we got Tavis fighting alongside. This is huge. KBLA1580.com this Saturday. See you guys.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase, September 22nd through the 24th. Join us for the opening night celebration on Friday, September 22nd, featuring iconic film director Michael Schultz of Cooley High and Car Wash fame, along with rising director Jewel Taylor from They Clone Tyrone, plus actor-director Maurice J. Irvin. Then on Saturday, September 23rd and Sunday, September 24th, enjoy the short film showcase featuring 47 films by emerging black male directors from across the globe. Celebrate a legacy of brotherhood and excellence. All events will be held at the Regal LA Live Cinemas in downtown Los Angeles. For more information and tickets, visit www.bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. That's 323-957-4656. Support Black cinema at the 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. See you there.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. Therapy, baby. For my soul. Yeah. Just trying to heal, you know? Yeah. Been listening to my thoughts and lately I've been concerned. Feel like my soul on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Ain't nobody gave me shit, I wait my motherfucking turn. I had a few hits, even had a few misses. Got clumsy in the kitchen, even broke a few dishes. Street life scarred me, my soul need therapy. I ain't never been the one to complain, that's when the
It is the Raw Report. Welcome back. I'll be Bernardin for Robin tonight. Jeezy. That's right. Jeezy has filed for divorce from his wife of 2 years, Jeannie Mae. And it's usual, I think, to see that celebrity couples break up. Even those who are married, they get divorces. It's very common. I think I feel like it's not very usual for the man to be filing the divorce. It happens, of course.
Right.
But, and, Jeezy, I think, is someone that we all collectively really like. We really like Jeezy. I mean, he's been a good dude, been a good rapper, a great rapper for a long time, and kept it real. And I just think I feel like we all like Jeezy, and so we should talk about this situation. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Neil, on this situation.
His book is Adversity for Sale. I mean, it happens. There are a lot of rumors swirling around. Some are saying he beat her to filing for the papers.
Okay, it was a no, I quit. You can't fire me because I quit.
I'm going first.
Exactly.
But I just looked at Jeannie's Instagram page, and she still has the first story pinned is his book on the coffee table and their daughter. So it's just a sad thing because I think a lot of us wanted to see them win because they were such a beautiful couple. And they seem like love was there, but you never know what's happening on the other side of the door, clearly.
You never know. And we always think, well, how could you break up with her? Or how could you break up with him? They're so fine, or they're so wonderful, or they're so good at this, or they're so funny, or all these things. But you never know what someone's like until you live with them.
Right.
And that's the only way to really know the true somebody is to get to live with them. And it doesn't matter, how amazing someone is or beautiful or whatever.
Right.
Because sometimes it's just about compatibility, and sometimes it takes a little while to figure that out.
Right. And I think they added a lot of value to each other. Like, he gave her street cred, right? And she gave him kind of like the Hollywood cred because she was on the Real at the time. And so now you're looking at him, he's wearing suits. He's on Good Morning America. Last Saturday, he was at Vice President Kamala Harris's house performing. He has this book out. So he is really, and I think a lot of black men can resonate with him because he used to be a street hustler. He has a lot of street cred. When you think of BMF, he was BMF Atlanta. And so all of these things make him such a cool dude. And it's just like, I know a lot of ladies are excited. I was reading some of the comments, and a lot of them was like, good, he's back on the market. I'm like, that's cold-blooded.
That is cold-blooded, but that always makes me laugh because random Twitter user or Instagram user, like, you're going to be the one to scoop him up.
Right.
You're going to be his rebound. You're never going to meet him. All right, calm down.
Right.
He's back on the market. What market do you think he's going to?
Right.
Y'all ain't going to the same market. All right?
No.
And not because like, he's a better person than you, but just because you ain't never gonna see him, you ain't never gonna meet him.
Right. I mean, they know some people, some of these girls, they know where they at. They know where to pull up.
Some of them do, but those ain't the ones he's gonna wife.
I mean,
if you over there stalking him.
Oh no, not even stalkers.
Not even stalking, but if you over there bopping, you over there just trying to be there because he's there,
right?
And it's like the women who go to the NBA All-Star games. Right. They may be NBA players and trying to marry them. They may get them pregnant by accident.
Right.
But they're not trying to marry him. And maybe that's what a lot of them want, is to get impregnated by accident.
True, yeah.
Because then they figure they're set for life. But that conversation went Two different directions.
It went to a totally different direction because I'm like, wait a minute, let me step up for my sisters. Because what are you talking about, Avi?
No, hey, we can always have spirited disagreements on this show.
Right.
And, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. But anything else you want to say to wrap up this Jeezy conversation? And if you have a comment, 800-920-1580 is the number to call. 800-920-1580.
Yeah, no, I just, pray for them because they have a child. And, I just wish them the best.
Yeah, 20-month-old daughter, Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice name.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful couple. Jeezy's 45 years old. So he's still relatively young. I mean,
yeah, we're just waiting for TMZ to get the tea.
Yeah.
Or the Shade Room or Neighborhood Talk.
Somebody gonna get it.
They're looking right now.
Oh yeah, they're working very hard. They're working very hard to get that, and they will get it because they always do, if there is any. You know, I mean, you got to wonder what happened.
I'm curious. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Okay. So before we let you go, Neo, we have to talk about this Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis situation.
Ooh. That 70s show, that's what they were on together,
They were
right?
originally on that 70s show,
Okay.
but they've both done a lot since then. Obviously,
Okay.
Ashton Kutcher of Punk'd fame.
I loved it.
Yep, and since then, movie star hasn't been doing as much lately, but very prolific career, along with Mila Kunis. You know, she became a movie star in her own right after that 70s show.
Right.
She's in one of my favorite movies, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Okay.
Love that movie. And so they Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are married, and their friend Danny Masterson, who was also on that 70s show, he was just sentenced to 30 years for raping 2 women. And Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, it was made public that they wrote the judge a character letter in favor of Danny Masterson. And that news got out, and a lot of people were really upset about that. And now Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have resigned from the anti-child sex abuse organization that Ashton Kutcher co-founded because of that letter of support for Danny Masterson.
Cancel culture is real.
Cancel culture is real, and it's
real.
It's just I'm wondering if this is I totally get it. It's a difficult situation to parse because they wrote a letter, a character letter for a friend of theirs.
Right, that they know that they are writing the letter based upon what they know his characteristics to be.
What they know him to be.
Yeah,
right.
and so I mean, I get it. Like you would do that for a family member. You would do that for a close friend. So I understand why they wrote the letter, but now that he's been convicted and this organization, I mean, it's I get it.
Yeah, and you can have the conversation about, one, should they have written the character letter, and then two, should he have to resign? Should they have to resign from this organization because of that character letter? And so, in the first part of that question, should they have written the character letter? That's tough because I'm trying to think if I knew someone from the time I was 15 or 16 or whatever,
right,
for 30 years, and in my experience they had been very good to me and my family, and we had supported each other, and I had seen them do good things for their family or for people around them, and then they're accused of this horrible crime. Should I then immediately cut all ties to them, or should I talk about the person who I knew, who I experienced? But we know that a lot of times we don't know that we were just talking about this. We don't know that we don't know who we think we know a lot of times. And so I can totally see, why they might want to write a character letter, but I can also see why people would say, after someone is credibly accused of something like what Danny Masterson was credibly accused of and eventually convicted of, should you then write them a character letter, or should you not? What do you think?
I think if that's their friend and that's how they felt, then I think that they did what they wanted to do, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, are there repercussions behind that? Apparently there were, but I don't see anything wrong with them writing the letter based upon who they knew this man to be. I don't see anything wrong. I think that it was noble, and I think it was smart to step down. Just now, if it was an organization for pets, it doesn't matter. But because it was inner or relatively related, I get the reason why they should step down. And since he founded it, it's about the work. It's really not about him, right? So the work continues. I'm pretty sure he'll still support it. I hope he still supports it, but just from a distance, and it's all good.
Yeah, and that's the second part of the question. Should he have to step down from his anti-child sex abuse organization because he wrote this letter of support? And
I think it's smart because the guy was convicted.
Yeah, but just because of the letter, though? Because even though he's founded this company and he's been doing this work for it, and it's been a major cause of his for years now.
Right.
And so you got to think that's gotta hurt if you're Ashton Kutcher, And yeah,
but if it's about helping kids, just donate to the organization. You created it for a purpose. So it's the purpose that you really should focus on, and
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm sure he will, and I'm sure Mila Kunis will also continue to do that. But it's a crazy situation because knowing the wrong people get you caught up.
And can you imagine all the pressure from their agents and their publicists saying, "Hey, you got to cut yourself from this situation because it's snowballing out of out of turn now. It's just growing and growing and growing." So I could get why. Just separate yourself from the organization and let's move on.
Yeah, and they made this video after it was made public that they wrote this letter of support for Danny Masterson. They made this video on social media that they posted. It's just a video of them sitting there and saying, look, this is a guy we knew who was our friend, and the letter was just meant for the judge to read. It wasn't meant to be public, and it was meant just to tell the judge about the character of the person we knew, and people got a hold of that letter and they just let them have it, and they're still letting them have it, and as you said, it just kept snowballing.
The same thing happened to what's the girl that wrote the letter for Tory Lanez? Izzy Azalea Banks. What's her name?
Azalea Banks. Is that her?
No.
Izzy Azalea?
The white rapper that went with the
Iggy Azalea.
Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so the same thing happened to her. She said it was supposed to only go to the judge. It was a character letter, and she got dragged for it. So it happens.
I wonder if these character letters make a difference for these judges.
Apparently not for Tory Lanez.
or for Danny Masterson.
Right, apparently
not. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if they ever make a difference, because is some famous person saying, I can vouch for this person's character, is that going to make a difference in the facts of the case? Because you would think that the facts of the case should be all that matter in terms of whether they're convicted, and if so, how much time they're given.
Mm-hmm. So it didn't make a difference.
No, and speaking of Tory Lanez, Robin was talking about him yesterday, and how he apparently used his last few moments as a free man before his jail sentence to call some reporter a mealy-mouthed B-word or something like that.
Understandable. He's going through a lot right now. And she's the one that's on the internet. I'm just being honest. She's the one on the internet totally dragging him and constantly talking about the case. So, I'm not saying that he should have said it, but I can understand.
All right, Chris Rock. Yeah. No, it's just if you going into jail, right? And that's the last thing you're gonna say before you go. Come on, dude.
Hey, it's not gonna give him any more time. The time is the time. So if that's how he felt, hey, if that makes him feel a little better going back to that cell, hey, more power to you.
All right. Well, hey, man.
Can you imagine what he's saying about Megan?
And he deserves to be in jail. I think people can chill with all
that.
No,
I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be in jail, but I'm just saying he probably cussing out a lot of people in his mind.
I'm sure, but he can do that all he wants, but he earned this. He brought this on himself. Don't shoot, especially. We want to stand up for black women. Don't shoot people, and especially.
But see, I don't even think it's the fact of the shooting. I think it's how he handled the entire situation.
Yeah.
If he would have had remorse and said, "Hey, I did this," he probably wouldn't have all the time he had.
Yeah.
to your point, he brought all of it on himself because he was so defiant through the entire process. There was no humility.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's a really big thing now is no accountability, no humility that people will have when they made a mistake. You made a mistake, just say it.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
say it.
And then a lot of
Own up
times,
to it.
And when you do that, people know then okay, maybe you're less likely to do it again. But when you say, "Oh, I didn't do nothing wrong," people are like, "Well, you're just gonna go do the same stuff again." Then,
Yeah, you calling people, you threatening them. Just stop.
Just stop. Neil Anderson, multimedia journalist with the LA Sentinel.
I hope I didn't get
and
in
the Black.
trouble.
Oh, of course not.
No, I'm just playing. Always when I'm on with Robin, I'm like, okay, this is too much opinion.
No, you're great. We love having you on. Great perspective, and you're knowledgeable and you bring it. So we appreciate you.
Likewise, I appreciate you.
Oh,
too.
and quickly tell us about In the Black Network.
So In the Black Network is a new digital platform. It's equivalent to Netflix, Hulu. So you can download it on Roku. We're on Apple TV. It launches October 2nd with our what do you call it? Our flagship show, Crowned, which features Vivica Fox, Selena Johnson, and Kendra G. Do you know who Kendra G is? She's a popular singer.
She sounds like a reality star person.
No, well, she has this show on Facebook and Instagram where she hooks people up on relationships, and another lady named Shay. So the show is about relationships similar to Cocktails. What was it?
Cocktails with Queens?
Yeah,
on Fox Soul?
but different, more relationship and better.
Okay.
And so we have that. We have over 400 movies. You can go look at Black movies. And so James DuBose decided to start his own digital platform. It's 100% Black owned, which is very important. And we're just really excited about it. October 2nd, download the app In the Black Network.
Can't wait, and we'll definitely
Taste the Soul. Don't forget about Taste the Soul.
Oh, yeah, Taste the Soul coming up too. We're gonna have you back on before then too, though.
We are? Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
October 21st. Yeah.
All right, Neil. Thanks again. Great to see you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. When we come forward, it's Who's Got Next right here on the Raw Report.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at the Raw Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Dom Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of Black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to Black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility, not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership, it's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community, and it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Maisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rent subsidy to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardships. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Robin Report
with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, back on the Raw Report. Avi Bernard here in for Robin tonight. And who's got next is a singer-songwriter named Fuji Kaze. Let's take a listen to the song called Working Hard. I got you, Andy.
Better sit back, take a deep breath, and you know, no, you've been working out.
That's funky right there. Fuji Kaze. He's who's got next. Got to shout out to Wifey for that one. Put me onto that track right there. It's called Working Hard. Really like that. Thanks, Robin, for having me fill in for you today. Appreciate you, Andy, for all your work. Been here for 3 hours. Had to play that one because I am working hard. You know what I'm saying? Been here since 4 o'clock. About time to go home. Enjoy your weekend. And the best of Zoe is coming up next. Have a great one. I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A report on the San Diego County taxpayer-funded immigration program is raising some concerns. The Immigration Rights Legal Defense Program provides legal assistance for immigrants at a cost of $5 million since May